This whole thing is just a lie to get me here, so.
I wish.
Then prove it. What's her name?
Well, if I tell you that, then you're just gonna get up and you're gonna walk out of here, and I'm not gonna see you for another 15 years.
Well, if you don't tell me that now, then I'm just gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out of here and you won't see me for the rest of your life, so.
Oh.
That scene, the interaction between the two of them, it kind of gives you goosebumps. Wow. So the true crime podcast, Happy Face, is now coming to your TV.
Oh yeah, we're joined by actress Annalee Ashford with more on her role. Annalee, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this story is crazy because it's a true story. Lay it out for us. Essentially, you find out your dad was a serial killer, or you did, I guess, as a child.
Yeah, the story is based on the real life of Melissa Moore, who is the daughter of the Happy Face murderer. And this is a fictionalization of parts of her life that are based on her outing herself as the daughter of this murderer and how it affects not only her own family, but how she decides to move forward in the grief and the shame that she experiences being connected and related to this man who inflicted pain and violent acts on some families.
That is incredible. That it's real is the incredible thing.
Yeah, she Melissa did a podcast called Happy Face, which is what our show's based off of, and it was extremely compelling. It's overwhelming, and it was such great source material for me as an actor. But it really is a different angle in the true crime space, and makes you stop and wonder what would you do if you had a spouse or a parent or a sibling or a child who committed an atrocity. What would you do? And obviously you would carry around the guilt and the shame of being connected to them for the rest of your life.
Well, I know you just said that podcast was a great source for you as an actress, but were you familiar with the Happy Face killer before signing on to this project?
I was familiar. I was familiar with this case. I was also familiar with Melissa. And then what I learned on working on the project and working in my research is that Melissa in real life is an incredible advocate for people who've been touched by the trauma of crime, on both sides of the courtroom, the victim side and the perpetrator side. And she has really taught us that when you tell a story like this, that you have to be incredibly sensitive to we really wanted to be careful that we didn't re-traumatize anybody in the telling of the story.
So in the show, Dennis Quaid plays your father, who would be the serial killer in this case, and they sent us clips, and I found the scenes with you two together to be particularly chilling, because in one sense you would see he'd share a father-daughter memory, but then you would see him manipulating her as serial killers do. I would imagine as an actress, anytime you're playing somebody, you're with somebody who's supposed to be your father, you have to utilize some of your own relationship with your father, but it's got to be hard to graft that onto a scene where the other guy's a serial killer. I don't know if I'm making that clear, but how do you use your own experiences when you're playing this guy's daughter?
I think one of the gifts of being an actor is that we get to play and we get to use our imagination. Yeah. So while sometimes stuff from our real life is helpful, sometimes it's just not. And in this case, I had, one of the best scene partners an actor could ask for. Dennis Quaid is one of our greatest. And the thing that's really interesting about the way that he has crafted this role is that, yes, he's terrifying, he's manipulative, he's creepy, he's selfish, all those things that we know a serial killer is, but he's also my father, he's also vulnerable, and that is both helpful in the inner conflict that my character has, but it's also really uncomfortable for the audience. And it makes you really stop and think, what would you do? What would you do if you had a parent who did something like this?
It is really powerful when you're meeting face to face. Those scenes are incredible. The show is called Happy Face. It starts streaming tomorrow on Paramount Plus. Annalee, best of luck with the show. I'm really looking forward to checking it out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Take care.
You as well.